Finally, while we're on the subject of testing, let's talk about testing linked to entities. The big decision you need to make if your LINQ query is against a database is whether you want to run your unit tests against a real database, which will be slower and can be a bit of a pain to set up, or whether you want your unit tests to be blazing fast because they're running entirely in memory, but they're not actually going off to a real database, and therefore you could possibly miss some problems with the generated SQL or the mapping of your entity objects to the underlying tables. Now, there are some NuGet packages that will help you to mock an entity framework DB set object. And so in theory, it is possible to run your unit tests against a mocked DB set. But it's unlikely that your tests will behave exactly like a real database would. For example, we already saw earlier in this course how the string.contains method performs a caseless comparison when you're running with LINQ to SQL or entity framework, but a case-sensitive comparison when you're running with LINQ to objects. And another difference is, if you're running your queries against in-memory data, then you don't have to remember to call the include method that we looked at in the last module to perform a join onto a related table. So my general recommendation is that you should cover your LINQ to entity queries with some integration tests and run them against a preceded database. This will take a little bit longer to set up and run, but it's more likely to find real-world issues. And of course, another benefit of writing unit tests against your real database is that you can also use those tests as the basis for some performance testing.